I just thought you had a lane that you like to stay in.
I know.
And it was partly fantasy, partly porn. So you...
I love that lane. But sometimes with my ADD, it's a gift. And I will hyperfixate on science. And I have to go back to my lane of porn and fantasy fiction. Okay? Like,
all right. Are we podcasting?
we're kind of podcasting. I feel more disheveled today than normal.
She's wearing my shirt.
I'm wearing Jen's shirt. I'm wearing Jen's glasses.
She hates
I forgot my
glasses.
curling yarn.
Yeah.
I don't like Jen's glasses because I have attention deficit disorder and all I see is the frame. Why don't they just make it like, you know what I mean? So now all I want to do is look out of the corner of my eye. So how's everybody doing? We're good? Are we podcasting?
I think we are podcasting.
I just have to say, like, looking back on our week, so Jen and I have been literally just writing more than we've ever written. At the same time, no one is like, you know what you're doing? You're writing a book right now. You know what we should give you? Time.
No, actually,
Jen
they're
is
like, hey,
literally like strumming through trying to find a wine opener.
I'm not. I need a beer bottle opener because it's all there is. Hey, how do I do this?
Oh my God, you princess! What in the hell is wrong?
You think I opened my own beer bottle? Jeez, Louise.
This should not shock anybody.
Anyways,
Jesus.
No, nobody is saying, hey, Jen, take time to write your book. Actually, everybody's saying, let's have 15 orthodontist appointments. We're going to change up soccer so it's a different hour and different day of the week. We're going to just randomly move music class around, even though you've got your own life and your own appointments that we're going to do. Hi, hold on. I'm going to have some beer.
We're going to have some beer. Everybody's going to get better. We're going to feel better. We're going to feel better.
And by the way, we've got this fundraiser that you have to donate to. And
although, as hard as things are right now, it's my favorite time of year. Okay, September is fall. Yeah. October is Halloween. November is Thanksgiving. We have different views on that. Jen has currently in her house a row of Halloween Christmas trees. I think that is sacrilege. I don't like that. To me, that is...
I got to tell you, if I'm
Get
honest,
out of my space. Halloween with Christmas...
Okay.
I don't like it.
So they take up a lot of space to pack them so that they don't break. There are a lot of space, you guys.
She has like, there's like 8 of them.
There's like 8 of them. And I got into them during COVID. I was like, oh, I found this one and got a good deal on it. And now I'm like, I think they're the one thing I don't need. I think they're...
If you got rid of them, I wouldn't be able to make fun of you. And then if I wouldn't be able to make fun of you, I'd feel bad that you got rid of them. So now you got to keep them.
What I want to do is give them to you because there's no way you'd get rid of them. But then you'd have them up and you'd have to make fun of yourself about it. And
you know, it's funny that you say that because I do this a lot, but I was talking with Eleanor and Jen is the most generous person I've ever met. And she just picks things up she might think that you want. She recently bought a sign that goes, I don't know, like, boo-hoo, Halloween welcomes you. Like one of those signs from Michael's. She has 2 of them. I'm certain one of those is going to go to me.
Yes.
She also wants to give me her Halloween Christmas trees. But Jen is the most generous person. She finds good deals on stuff and she'll pick things up for Eleanor, for my son, for my husband, for me. If Jen did not buy me clothes, I would wear the same thing every single day and hate myself. And Jen is like, I think this blouse will look good on you. And I'm like, great, I'll wear it literally 40 times in a row.
It's not her thing.
It's not my thing.
Shopping is not her thing. So
it's not my thing. But my daughter, I was going through, you know how on Apple Pictures or whatever, I was looking through and I was like, oh man, those shoes were so cute. Jen got those for you. And picture after picture, I was like, shit, man, Jen's doing a lot of work for us to like look like we actually have any kind of a trend in our household.
No, I owe it because Kristin's kids are, both of them are like 2 years older than mine. So for years, I've had to buy very little clothing for my own kids because I've gotten the hand-me-downs. So many people have benefited from your kids' hand-me-downs because I hand-me them down again.
The way it works.
Yeah, I love
literally, I was
man.
like, look at that little pink peacoat. Oh, that was Jen's. Oh shit, I think I was supposed to give that back. Every child that is under our roofs has now outgrown that said jacket.
Yeah.
So I guess my long-winded point is thank you, even though I tend to make fun of you for having too much shit all the time.
No, that's my, it's a blessing and a curse that I have so much shit. And I agree with you on the Halloween Christmas trees. They're not what I want.
Don't agree with me. You're supposed to give me shit. Now I feel bad.
Because the reason I got them was because I love like mid-century stuff that reminds me of my grandma's house. And I found a couple of them that I was like, this really reminds me of my grandma's house. She
Yeah.
would have dug this. And then I found some and I was like, these are straight up ugly, but I got a collection going, you know? Like, it
Can't
couldn't-
stop now.
No, what am I supposed to do? And then I also have the actual Christmas trees. So I'm out of storage. I got to start
Yeah.
whittling down some of this stuff. I have a straight
Well,
up problem.
Here's maybe where all this stems from, and I mean no disrespect to my grandmother. I'm speaking specifically to my mom's mother, whose name is Teresa, and therefore my mom is Teresa. You know, I only refer to my mom as Terry.
Why don't we call her Big T?
Oh my gosh, she wishes. And then my dad's new nickname from Eleanor is Dewdog. Oh my God, I love that. And I think he would change it legally
Yeah.
if given permission. So my
Has he
grandmother's
gotten
house.
that vanity plate yet?
Yeah, it's going to be on his license plate. So my grandmother, my mom's mom, had 13 kids. That's a lot of kids. And those kids had a lot of kids. And those people all married people. There's
I'm
so
telling you.
many people.
Before you speed past this, 13 kids. The socks alone would do me in
I mean-
psychologically, because I have 2 kids and I'm like, how many pairs of socks do you wear a day? They're like hanging from my damn chandelier. I cannot tell you. All I do is pick up wrappers and socks from
Yeah.
2 kids. So if you had 13,
And my mom likes to live in revisionist history. She was like, I was always very helpful. I would anticipate their needs. I'm like, bull corn, lady. You're number 12 out of 13.
You were the
You
baby.
were so spoiled.
she probably
Like,
didn't even walk till she was like 3
No,
because
dude.
everybody's picking her up and
Yes,
carrying the
and
cute baby around.
they were so much older than her. There were 6 that were born, 7 years where there were none, and then 7 more. Do the math on that. My grandmother was pregnant.
Talk about a 7-year itch.
I know. I was like, did you piss him off or something?
Yeah.
You guys like took a break?
Let's
yeah.
go with other people for a few
Yeah.
years.
You know, I wonder if my grandmother was like, is there ever a time you can have sex and it doesn't get you pregnant?
know.
Like,
Shoot.
how do you do that? Well, she's a strong Catholic woman. But my point is, I remember going to her house and I knew it did not look like other grandmothers' homes. Because when you went into my grandmother's house, they had a farm, an acreage out in Dalton, Nebraska. And then my grandmother moved into Sydney.
Okay.
And so she had a house that was just a normal size house. In the basement, there were like 4 or 5 queen beds shoved wherever beds could survive because so many freaking people came over. So when you went into her house, what you would have as a living room literally looked like the waiting room of an orthodontist. It was chairs around the entire
What else was she
perimeter.
supposed to do? I would only order from a Uline catalog if I had that many kids. It would be all industrial, commercial.
That's 100% what she had.
It'd be like, these chairs, are they from the airport? Yes,
They're
are.
100%.
Because they can get sat on a million times and still withstand.
Absolutely. And the only pictures she had on the wall were the senior pictures of all of her daughters and sons. Like literally so imagine just 13 frames take up a lot of wall.
Yeah. How's she going to keep track of all those grandkids, too?
And she doesn't have pictures of the grandkids. And then she had a crucifix and a picture of John F. Kennedy. So like
Praise
that
the
was
Lord.
it's what you got when you went in. It was all business.
The
Like
most Catholic wall I've ever
I'm
heard
telling
of.
you, you don't know if you're in a grandmother's
She didn't
house
have
or a
picture of the-
notary.
Whoa, she have a picture of the Pope in her bathroom
Not
or
at the
something?
time. It depends
Okay.
if they liked the Pope at the time,
Ooh.
if he made the cut. But there just wasn't a lot of like decor because her house was madness. She would have a table that she would put throughout the living room into the kitchen. And then she had stackable stools and you would take one stool
Yes.
off. Like she was a longshoreman. It was
Yeah.
crazy. You want to talk about toys? She had a box of wooden blocks. And this very Dutch woman was like, there's your toys. And I was like, shit, man, this is pretty decent compared to what I thought you were going to have, which was, I don't know, like we were going to be doing farm work.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? The Legos would be shredded by the time the last kid got to. The
No.
wooden ones are the only ones that would survive.
They were awesome. They were like big, literal rectangular blocks. And when we got there, we were like, let's play with blocks. But that was how you went to the Van Ann house.
Well, even though my grandparents' house was like a kid, it was a wonderland for play stuff. Well, you know what my favorite thing to do was as soon as I got there? Rake my grandmother's shag carpet. We'd come in the front door and she's like, it's by the fridge. And there was like this plastic yard rake.
Because you'd find change and stuff?
No, just because the shag carpet would get like stuck together and like all pilly, but we'd rake it for him. We loved it.
I'm pretty sure my grandma had linoleum throughout her whole house.
She
She's like, get rid of the carpet. We don't need anybody to get comfortable.
She had that terrazzo stuff that's in the airport that's like you could just power wash it. She had one of those like waxer things.
I
that she'd
don't
pull out from
blame
the
her, man.
Are you kidding me? Somebody has like 3 boys. They don't have a coffee table that has all its legs.
No, my grandmother's first handful had more than 4 kids each. So it's just bodies and humans. My dad tells the best story. You know, my dad only has one sister and her name is Lois and she's special needs. And my grandmother and grandfather on my dad's side were very soft-spoken people. My dad's adopted. I've talked about that before. Like there is a big difference in the personality of my father and the personality of his parents, but they were lovely, lovely people. Ralph and Eleanor, very soft-spoken people. And then you've got my dad who's like, hello, and my dad tells the story about when he was dating my mom. My dad was 26. My mom was 23. My mom likes to tell a different tale about how buttoned up she was, but I was like, I've seen pictures of you with your freaking hot pants and your weird hair flow thing that you had that you would stick on. What's it called? A fall?
Oh, what?
It's like where you have partial wig, so it makes your hair bouffant.
Like a bouffant? Oh, cute.
She had knee-high white boots, and she's like, I was a full-time student. I'm like, Terry, just save it. You had fun, and you met Dewey, and you guys were a good time. My dad went to my mom's house for the first time, and I don't think my mom prepared him. He said he was sitting in the airport, their family room, in one of the hard seats, and it was just girl body after girl body. They're all in their 20s at this point, trying to get ready to go out to the bars, and they just kept running through the airport lobby, aka my grandma's house, in their bras and panties. And my dad was just sitting there with like trying to look down. But they're yelling at each other like, Terry, have you seen do you have my dress? Which, they're like yelling at each other, but it's heaven to me.
I can't imagine how you just keep anything straight. Like, how did they do it? Like, was there like 3 in a room or like?
Yeah, my mom says, on the farm, it was a very different experience. They had, and you have land. It's just different,
It feels less
confined. This was my grandma's house where we went, and maybe other uncles and aunts were
the randos.
but they couldn't have them all there. But if you had 2, you had 15 people there.
I remember being at my grandparents' house in Oklahoma, and they'd be like, your Uncle Vance. I'm like, I don't actually. I can't remember ever have met the guy. You're sitting next to people you really don't know at Thanksgiving dinner and stuff.
Well, you need to come to a Van Ann family reunion because you know everybody and they know you and they all talk shit. Half of them are pharmaceutical reps, so you're always getting free shit.
I'm
lovely.
Like,
I had a cousin that sold for what's the brand that makes Viagra? Pfizer.
Oh, sure.
And so he would bring.
I tried a new heart med and a birth control pill that I got at Thanksgiving.
I had a friend my cousin Courtney sold orthotricycline.
Yeah.
And they're all top of their game. They all were pharmaceutical reps, and they would bring like all the swag, but it would say like Viagra. So at a family reunion, my cousin was like handing out Viagra, basically. Does anybody else find that weird?
I think there's enough people in this family. We don't need to necessarily keep those erections flowing.
I said the same thing. And honestly, I've made this joke before, but at our family reunions, when they were at the peak, which was so fun, a lot of the brothers and sisters have passed away. But like when it was at the peak, it was literally the thing you lived to go to because they're massive.
Yeah.
So we would all get t-shirts and it would tell you like, who's from what family. And then they would do an aerial photo because we couldn't fit everybody into the pictures. And the thing that I made a joke about that nobody thought was funny at the time was that I thought it just told everybody who was first cousins so that only second cousins made out. And my family did not find that joke funny.
Too close to home, Kristin.
Listen, my mom also told me at one family reunion, she goes, okay, we're doing a talent show and you're going to do stand-up comedy.
Whoa.
And I go, what? She goes, I've already signed you up. You can't make jokes about politics. You can't make jokes about Rush Limbaugh, and you can't make jokes about your new boob job. No, none of those jokes. I'm like, well, I've got no material. Like, what do you want me? No Catholic jokes. No, I'm like, I'm being censored.
I think you want to say how much you love hunting. A lot of good hunting jokes you might want to make for that Nebraska crew. How much you love agriculture.
How much you love agriculture.
Yeah.
How much I love the Huskers.
The new decal planter. That is not even a thing.
They were not. That was the one reunion that we went to, and whoever planned it did not check to see if we could have booze. And so it was a dry.
Ooh.
Let me tell you, that is a hard crowd to play for.
Who wants to get together with family and not have booze?
That was the talking point for a good 2 years. Do you remember that terrible reunion where we couldn't have any booze? What kind of bullshit is that?
It's not called a reunion. That's called an intervention. No, thank you.
Thank you. That was a crispy night of stand-up when the whole audience is sober and you're related to them. Anyway, that was fun going down memory lane of that.
Man, I love that. I wish I had a big family. I keep telling the kids, I'm like, each one of you is responsible for having 6 children.
I loved it growing up. I remember thinking my grandmother was like the biggest badass for having that many kids. And then at one point I was like, why did you have that? What were you doing? I've circled the camp so many times on what I feel about it. But imagine, luckily, she had everyone stuck. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And my grandfather delivered the first 4 in a birthing room.
Let me tell you what I don't trust my husband to do.
Is deliver a baby.
Deliver a baby. I don't even trust that guy to wash his hands after he's grilled chicken. There's no way.
My husband wouldn't stay upright. That's why he's a teacher, not a surgeon.
My husband had one job when I was in labor and delivery, and it was to rub this part of my back that hurt. And I was pointing to it with my finger, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't. I was like, "Why are you doing over there? I'm showing you where it is." He's like, "I know. I can't get myself to do it. I don't know."
I think my grandfather felt confident to deliver the babies because he delivered
a lot of calves. Yeah.
And so he felt like, how different can it be? And honestly, besides the way we're positioned, not much, but feels a little weird. And my aunt told me this is so weird. My Aunt Marge told me Marge and Mary Lou were only like 14 months apart, and they're the oldest, and they're in the older set. So my mom doesn't have these kind of memories, but evidently when my grandmother was going into labor, she would go down and it's called the birthing room. And the girls upstairs were like cleaning the house, like getting ready for her to have a baby. So they heard her like huffing and puffing. I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I'm really happy to come visit someone in a hospital holding a baby, but I don't know what I feel.
I have been in
That's
a birth.
Amazing.
Yeah, it really was cool. There were about 10 medical professionals there at the time, which, really helps you relax if you're me and watching it. You're like, in no way am I going to have to assist with any of this. Basically, the most helpful thing I can do is just back up, like just get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
It is incredible, but like, I don't know how we as a species have survived. Like,
I mean, I feel like by baby number 8, she was birthing her own. She was like, you guys, I got to sneeze. Okay.
At some point, her hips must have just displaced.
I think they just like opened up and then she just had a toddler and then she gave that toddler some sort of chore.
I'm guessing it's like maybe 8 and 9, 10. That was more of like a beanbag toss as far as the sperm goes, because I mean that's a lot of babies. I know it goes back, but it doesn't go all the way back.
I mean that woman, she was amazing. She would make homemade bread. She would make homemade jams, pies, have them on again. She had an industrial kitchen that she would can everything. They would can. They would like,
don't make me feel like I should be better, Kristin. I can't.
It is all the shit that all these people think is cute on Instagram and TikTok, where they're like, "Look at me, I'm a prairie wife."
Yeah, because their husbands are like inventors.
Yeah,
and stuff,
or they're like, I don't know, finance guys, and she's like, "Look at this clever dress I'm wearing."
Oh, I could do lots of DIY shit if my husband was just like,
if you had
buying us this 5-bedroom outside of Dallas, man.
If you've grown up in a place like Western Nebraska, or a place where it's just very rural,
you have no choice. It's not quaint.
It's not quaint.
You just have to do it.
And that's why farm people they hit different, man. They're solid people because they have been connected to. You can't be on a farm and not see life and death. That's how it is.
For sure.
You're going to walk through a winter and you're going to see a cat frozen to the ground. You just are.
Oh,
and it's
God.
it's very upsetting.
I mean, that's bad enough for me. I don't know if I would.
I mean,
Between
when I
that
lived
and
on the farm, that's all I kind of needed to know. I was like, I'm not sure if I'm built for this. I actually am, but my mom definitely came from there. I was like, stop bragging to people how fast you can rip the head off of a chicken. No one is that.
I had an aunt like that. My mom's
Man, they
side of
find
the family.
such pride in it.
Luckily, my dad's side of the family, off the boat from London, from England, his dad, and then his mom was from Sweden. And they were people who were meant to sit in like high-backed chairs. And that is me. I would need like a warm, like expensive dog on my lap and somebody to come in and remove the baby. And that's luckily what technology has provided for me.
Because
I'd be
feel
dead.
more
I'd be
opposite.
dead.
And the thing is, I want to feel like I'm from that, but I know who I am. And so my aunt, who is an actual genealogist, she did our history. She gave us these books, these printed books, and they look like phone books. And it is just names of the most like Scandinavian names you've ever heard.
Jorn.
Yeah, Jorn von Furstenberg, you know, and it's all these names. And it goes all the way back to 1510. And we're all farmers.
God, your family.
I'm like, not one producer. Like, it is literally just farmers until my cousin works for Pfizer.
Wow.
That's it. And you think I'd be better at plants, but I'm not. I blame my dad. That's on him. So there's a little bit of the old Van Ann lineage for you.
This isn't exactly lineage, but I feel compelled to share this with you because it's really big news in our household. My son is taller than me. It happened. It just happened. Just overnight last week, I saw him in the hallway. I saw his little arms coming down the hallway, and I was like, he grew last night. He's taller than me. And he stands next to me, and Britt looks, he goes, oh, his nose is way above yours. Like, he got taller, like overnight.
Yeah, Eleanor goes, Dashiell looks different. And I was like, if she notices,
Yeah, he's
that
like,
means
his jaw's kind of squared
Yeah.
out. Like he's gotten leaner. Like he wants abs. He's like concerned with getting a haircut all of a sudden. Like, and he's taller than me. This is a whole new dude, and it's a big thing for me. Delilah and he were neck and neck, and I was like,
I know you were like, please don't let Delilah
Yeah.
get taller because that is a tough.
she's just stopped though,
Yeah.
and he's kept going. So I don't know. I don't know what
Here
we're
we
gonna have on
go.
our hands. He says he's shooting for 6 feet, and I'm like, well, hopefully you have your dad's genetics and not my.
Because how tall is Britt?
Swedish.
Britt's like 6'1".
He's 6'1", which I think means 6 foot in guy terminology. But his family's solid 6 footers. Like my nephew's 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
His uncle's 6'6". Like they're taller. My family like tops out about 5'10". I do have a 6 foot tall uncle on my mom's side, so I don't know. He's got a chance, but
Collins people are big.
yeah, they're tall people.
They're beefy. And I mean, not just
His mom's taller than Britt's tallest uncle.
Yeah,
I bet
my
you.
mother-in-law's 6 foot tall,
Didn't she
flat-footed.
play basketball for Vanderbilt? Or was
She played basketball, in Louisiana. But I think that's just because she was so naturally tall. They were like, give her a basketball. But
she can block.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she's a tall woman. And then our nephews all average 6'4" at the shortest.
Wow.
The tallest one's 6'6". He's going to OU. I'm not happy about it, but okay.
He is. That's new news.
And then I have one that's going to Tulane.
Okay.
And then Charlotte, my niece, is 5'10". So Eleanor and Finn are kind of like, what in the actual hell? Because they're my little late bloomers, and they'll get there. Colin was a late bloomer too, and so was I. It's
Yep.
just around the bend, but I can tell Finn's feet, they're massive. He's starting to look like, that thing where it's like.
That means his height burst is coming up. Because I do recall, like, when I was a kid, my family was like, what are you going to be, a capital L when you grow up? Because my feet were so damn long and, like, my body was so
You were
short.
shaped
I was
like an
just
L?
like, yeah.
Like a hockey stick?
Yeah, worse than a hockey stick. I looked like a level, old school.
Oh, stop. I do like when people are
then
like, look at the
then
paws on that kid.
Then my feet stopped growing and my body grew. It was like it could only concentrate on one thing at a time. It was
How
like trying to
tall
focus.
were you? Were you ever the tallest in your class?
Never. No, I was always the shortest or like bottom 3.
Because there are those girls that sort of peak at like 5th grade. They're like, look how tall I am. And then it's off to the races.
I
biatch.
never peaked. They were just always like, do we need to get her checked? Because she
Well, you're
is
what, 5'1"?
5'1", almost 5'2".
Which means 5'1".
No, honestly, it's 5'1" and 3/4, but I like what 5'1" sounds like a little bit better.
I never know what I am, but I believe I'm 5'7" or 5'8". But everybody, when they see us in person, they go, she's really little. Or they always say, you seem bigger on camera.
To you?
Yeah.
Mm.
Either way, I'm not
Look,
sure.
I
I'm
don't
like,
know. I had that
know,
one
I'm her
lady go,
bouncer.
"You're so small." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." She goes, "I meant short."
Oh,
I was
thank
like,
you.
"Oh, thanks."
Thank you
Managed
for that.
to double punch me there.
Can I totally do an ADD moment right
Yeah,
now
okay,
and change?
okay.
So Jen and I are going to talk a little bit more about pop culture stuff because it's
Hey,
fun for us
We got to
do
keep
that.
each other up to date on stuff too.
And when we give each other permission to talk about things like that are happening, it makes me think all week about how excited I am to podcast. And it makes me hate the fact I'm in my car at another practice less.
yeah.
So it feels like my scrolling, there's a purpose.
There's a point to it. Yeah.
There's a point. Okay, so this thing that happened this week, I think there's been a lot of shit in the news, and there's usually a lot of shit in the news, but recently there's been a lot of shit in the news. But I think we're not talking about this enough. There has been a real breakthrough when it comes to something called Huntington's disease. And if you guys have not been looking at this online, go search it out. It's really incredible. And because it is online.
Okay, I don't know if I know what it is.
Okay, I have, look, I'm going to put my
She's going to
glasses
put her
on.
readers on. Do you guys know that while she looks this up, that you can watch all of this on YouTube and also go to IMOMSOHARD.com and come see our live show, you guys? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Our live show, we've been having a lot of fun.
Yeah,
We did
it's really fun.
a
We did one this
club and it
weekend.
was a blast.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to just give you the most simple version of this because I am not a doctor. Huntington's is a super terrible disorder that is genetic. I think it's the cruelest of disorders out there. It's kind of like supercharged Alzheimer's and you lose all control of your body. It's degenerative. It's all the things. It's like a 5-car pileup of all the things that are just horrific to deal with. And if it's genetic, it's like that terrible thing of like, you got a 50-50.
Yeah.
If it starts when you're young, it's even more aggressive. If it starts when you're old, it's going to shorten your life. It's terrible. And
Please
people with
tell me the
Huntington's.
good news.
Okay. So this is what I love about science. Sometimes I feel like we are all sort of primates with Instagram accounts. Like, I don't think anybody is that smart, and I don't feel like anybody's doing big things.
Yep.
But when I read about things like this, I'm like, nope, there's people out there doing cool shit. And it's generally, for me, it's scientists. So they've figured out a way through, I want to make sure that I say it the right way because, and again, I wrote, easiest way to explain the breakthrough with Huntington's disease. That's how I put it into
Mr. AI?
That's not in AI. That's in Google. That's how bad I am. I'm literally Googling it when I could have AI it. It's a one-time brain infusion. They literally go into your brain and they squirt this magic potion into the brain. And what it does is it goes in and it finds the gene that causes Huntington's disease and it slows it down by 80%. It's like a huge breakthrough. And the way that it goes in and attacks this is, now this is where people, I'm out of my pay grade, but basically they create a virus that goes in and fights the genetics, right?
That's so cool.
It's so cool. It's like, I just think it's truly like humans breaking through what we should sort of be able to handle mentally. I find it's
okay. Is that what's considered gene therapy?
Yes.
Okay, because
Yes.
sometimes that confuses me because I'm like, how do you rewrite the history that's already there?
Well,
Like,
and that's a good question. And there's like, you can
and
do
then
gene
sometimes
testing.
I think about how big space is and that
No.
it's just floating there. But I'm like,
And then we get
doesn't
on
it have to
Poshmark.
be in something? And that's when I shut down and start buying shit.
That's
to feel
when
better.
other people become scientists. And that's why people like you and me, we have to be the wind beneath their wings and celebrate them.
Yep,
So if
yep.
they're weird at a party, who cares?
I don't care,
You know what
man.
I mean?
Yeah.
And another
You do
thing,
the heavy lifting.
I love when it talks about gene therapy because then you can break the cycle.
Yeah.
When you start talking about genetics and you can get in there and break the cycle,
Yeah.
then we're into like literally
they could
through
do it to
gene therapy.
Babies?
Well, I don't know about
Okay.
that, but I know what they can do is they can do genetic testing on adults. Because like right now you can get genetic testing to find if you have the BRCA. I think I'm saying that breast cancer gene.
Yeah. And go get your mammograms, ladies, because
It's
it is
Breast Cancer Month,
Cancer
baby.
Awareness Month. We want to make sure you're aware of your breasts. We want to make sure you go in and you get them shoved between a couple of refrigerator drawers.
It doesn't hurt.
It
and the lady
doesn't.
that works there has seen every boob under the sun. So
That's
she's
right.
not going to see yours and go, oh my God.
We all do the same thing. We
You
got to
know?
do it. Not fun, but we got to do it, ladies.
You got to do it. So go get your girls and take them to a place to get the old squeeze and take your friend with you and she can get them squeezed too. And then after you can squeeze each other's.
Yeah, go have some cocktails. Yeah.
It's just, to me, these are all things that show markers of knowing your body. What does this mean for other kind of genetic disorders? What does this mean for Rett syndrome? What does this mean for like all of these other
Hopefully
things?
good stuff. Yeah.
If you can get to one thing with the science, I feel like you're just adjacent from curing other things or slowing it down. Alzheimer's, like dementia, all of that.
For sure. I had this conversation when I picked up my super tall son last week from school. He was asking something about science. And I was like, hon, I am a smart person. And the way I know that is I will tell you when I don't know. And I will
100%.
ask questions. And I feel like the world is full of people who act like they know or think that they know, but they know so little that they don't even know what they don't know. You might have dabbled in real estate, but you don't know all the fucking forms to fill out. Don't act like
or just because you dabble in real estate doesn't mean you know how vaccines work. Okay.
That's what I was trying to say. Sorry.
That's just the truth. And you
They
said
spent
such a
20 years studying it.
I do have a lot of respect for people in the medical community, especially people in research, because it is the most boring job you could ever have.
Yeah.
You are literally systematically, very slowly making progress, and you got to stay in it. That is somebody who is okay running a marathon, a mental marathon.
Yeah.
Whereas someone like me would check out. I'd be like, oh, wait a minute. Was I supposed to check a box? I don't know. What's the control group again? Like, I know my strengths and weaknesses. I will make that scientist laugh, but I will not help that scientist with data. Okay, we all need to know where our strong suit is.
Here's the easiest example that is like a physical, you can't fight it sort of example, which is, does going to the gym every day make a difference? You can physically see it in people who go to the gym every day. So if you go into a place and you do research every day, your brain can lift things that somebody
like me
cannot.
And I know the difference.
Yeah, and that makes you smart in your way.
Right.
It's
and
a sign of intelligence to know what you don't know.
Well, thank you. Then I'm super smart. But I think the thing that I took away from it too is like how inspiring it is that somebody is out there doing this work. And that it's been years in, and how like everybody has a huge boner for this information right now, to see these like scientists like literally like they're excited. And if I'm going to say what a good thing from the internet is it does give exposure to these moments instead of it all cycling through a news channel. You can get on TikTok and look up Huntington's disease and see what these scientists are saying, and it makes you feel smart and you feel excited.
Also, the good thing is if you're donating to see like, oh, that money is doing something, that research that like government spending is doing something, because you're thinking of the scientists, but I do think of like Jenny. I think of some of our other friends who have a child
who's sick,
whose life depends on this kind of research being done. Yeah. And like, I have chills right now thinking about it. Like that must be like Christmas Day feeling to hear stuff like that.
And I just think again, like if you can crack the code on this one thing, the application of that process could be applied to other things. And like, what are we going to see come up? Because, you know, I'm speaking out of school right now. I don't know how these things work, but like in terms of ALS, which I think we're all heartbroken to hear that our Eric Dane, McSteamy from Grey's Anatomy has ALS right now. He's been really vocal, even as he is starting to slow down his speech. You can tell he's physically affected by ALS. He is not slowing down. He's like, I want you to see me. I want you to hear me because you know me. And then we can start really diving into this research.
That's a good hot flash, by the way, because McSteamy, I mean, I don't even watch the show, you guys, but I
did over and over and over. And if you know the one scene I'm talking about, I mean, there's so many.
Send it to me.
By the way, he's no less hot now.
No, I know.
Just saying, he's fully gray. I know he's going through such a hard time, but
being vocal about it is great, because I was reading an article about this woman wrote her on, this isn't to be dark or anything, but she wrote her own obituary. She had ALS, and I read it this weekend, and it was like lighthearted and fun. And she was like, my husband is the best guy ever because he helped me hide all of this from you, like my day to day. Because she didn't want people to know about it. But he is saying, like, this is what my life looks like. And this is like when I start losing a function, like what it is like. And it's important for people to go, yeah. We got to keep doing that.
Yeah, you can't turn a blind eye. And like the research is really important. And I think again, it's just being inspired by people out there doing this kind of work. That is what should get everybody all jacked, is like, okay, there's a lot going on in the world that's really sucky, but these guys are making some freaking progress.
Yeah.
And progress could be a celebrated feeling among all of us. I'm going to add to that. This is another thing.
You guys, can I just say, I didn't even know she read stuff. Besides
I know, I
fairy
shock
porn,
everybody.
I had no idea she was deep diving into the sciences. And may I say, I am quite impressed.
I know that my mother and I carry the same trait, ironically, when we're talking about genetics, is that she always shocks me when she's smarter than I think.
I didn't say that. I just
100% what you
I
said.
just thought you had a lane that you like to stay in.
I know.
And it was partly fantasy, partly porn. So you
I love that lane. But sometimes with my ADD, it's a gift. And I will hyperfixate on science. And I'll go back to my lane of porn and fantasy fiction. Okay. Like,
all right.
I'll go back in.
At
But
some point our interests converge. I love it.
again, I'm not going to be able to drop his name because I'm going to forget. There is a kid. He is 15 years old. He just won this huge science prize because he came up while he was 15 years old in high school with a way to test for pancreatic cancer.
Oh, I saw that.
Which is the number, like the problem with
Yeah.
pancreatic cancer is you have almost no symptoms that you would ever think were
Right.
out of the box. And you go get the diagnosis and you're stage 3 or stage 4. And by
Yeah.
that time, your life expectancy is cut short. Either
Yeah.
you can get a Whipple and you can sort of isolate it, but it's still, you're cooked, right?
Jeez. Kristen,
So-
what is a Whipple?
Well, it's a surgery where they can, I'm
You
not
guys,
going to
my
describe it.
universe is imploding right now. I'm learning so much in the
Well,
science.
Brad passed away from pancreatic cancer.
Okay.
But
Now I feel like a dick.
Also, Mia's husband passed
Oh.
away, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
pancreatic cancer
It's
and
yeah.
and Laura's mom passed away. So there's a lot of
Jeez
people
Louise.
with pancreatic cancer because it's so far ahead, you can't fight it.
right.
So now, if they have early detection, they could potentially cure it with chemo or get in and fight it with chemo. And who came up with that plan? A 15-year-old kid.
Don't let that fool you, you armchair scientists out there, though. I'm sure he was like,
Nope, this kid was doing work. And by the way, all you need to do is look him up. And if you're like, oh, I'm sure he's like a 40-year-old, 15-year-old. Nope. He won the prize and he's jumping around like a literal normal 15-year-old.
oh my God, I love it.
He just had the ability to simplify and focus, and he was super into science. And so now it's going to be a breakthrough. It's going to be another breakthrough. I think it's awesome.
I don't know if I should say this, but we have evidently made it clear that we are fans of vaccines. There's a woman that developed the mRNA vaccine for COVID. She developed the technology over like 40 years. It was like her clocking into a lab
That's what I mean.
for
They're-
40 years, you guys, more than 40 years. And now they think they can use that technology to cure like
Other
not,
diseases.
not prevent disease, cure diseases.
Yeah, that's the thing. I am not willing, I'm not capable of going into that kind of a environment and just day in, day out, slowly and methodically doing research. But there are people that are doing that. And
Yeah.
today that is who we go, woo, woo. It's
Thank
also the people that are fighting the
God.
good fight for
Yeah.
breast cancer.
Yeah.
And we've seen incredible growth in the last 20 years of detection and cures. And all of that is because of the people behind there that are probably not super celebrated. We have a scientist at Eleanor's school. And I'm like, I love that you're exactly the stereotype. She's like quiet and she wears little frame glasses.
Yep.
And I'm like, and you're a baller. You're probably some equivalent of like a 400-pound wrestler when it comes to doing
Yeah.
research. Do you know what I
'cause
mean?
All
And
the
it's
reps.
like,
yeah.
it's all the reps. It's like you said, like she might be small, but that brain,
Can
what do they
lift a
call them?
lot.
Big brain.
Yeah.
Big brain. Well, that's my weird
Oh, God, I
tangent
love it.
of science. I've been waiting to
Oh
tell
my
you
gosh,
about it.
That's so interesting. Now I'm going to have to read more about it.
Yeah, because I'm going to get it all wrong. So let me make sure I get it here first.
Look, even if whatever's like sparking people's curiosity about this stuff, and I always think is really good, but I had heard of it, but I didn't know exactly what it was. But certainly like ALS, I have been in and out of.
Yeah, and
my
ALS
ether.
is tricky. The breakthrough is with Huntington's specifically. And again, just knowing that those symptoms would be held off at a slower rate is just a godsend. And now I'm excited to see like what happens next. These
Yeah.
people get they go into your brain.
Well,
They go into your brain. Somebody has the confidence to do that.
maybe there's some kind of genetic thing they could do that would make me grow. So they're like, we see
That would
you
not be the thing you would want. Let's dumb down this conversation.
Okay,
now.
all
Okay,
right.
if there's one thing that you could go in and have it like hyper changed.
invisibility.
Really?
No, I don't know. What? Like a real thing that could
Okay,
be
fine.
changed?
Now we're talking about superpowers.
Okay. But what
Oh,
do you mean a real
man.
thing that we could change?
I don't know how far you thought this intelligent conversation was going to go.
Well,
okay,
just
fine.
plummeted.
Shapeshifter.
Okay. Transmogrify. I like it.
What do you mean? What's that?
It
I'm
means
gonna have to-
shapeshift. All right, and we're back to base.
No, I think I'm going to go fly.
Okay. And I'll be invisible. And
'Cause
basically
then you're just watching people make out.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Ew, you see, it went right back to porn and,
Yep.
and fantasy.
I think we just
So fast.
podcasted.
Did we just podcast?
Pioneer.